Hello, everyone. In this section, we're going to talk about a very interesting feature of Cisco Unified Communication Manager Administration, which is called Hunt Pilot and Hunt List and Hunt Group. And what it really does, these three terminology that I talked about, what it really does is it hunts amongst a group of IP phones, right? So sometimes what happens is caller calls a number, right? And then the call is supposed to route amongst a couple of people, right? In a round robin fashion, or maybe all the people at the same time, just like a small call center kind of atmosphere where outside caller is calling a number and then it's getting distributed amongst many people. So to achieve that basic level of functionality, to hunt among, to distribute the call amongst a few group members, uh, in the call manager, it's called uh, the configuration related to hunt pilot and hunt list, and then your line group, and then your line group members. So I would explain about it how it really works, right? So there is a caller, for example, uh, any caller, any internal or external number, and then the caller calls a DID or any extension, right? Let's say extension 5000. Uh, this caller calls extension 5000. Now the call reaches to this guy here, which is Hunt Pilot number, right? Now Hunt Pilot is basically the reference point. It would have that 5000 configured on it. Okay. Now this Hunt Pilot will have hunt list, one hunt list configured, under which the line groups will be added. The purpose of line group is to provide redundancy in case all the members in one particular line group member have been exhausted, right? There could be another line group, right, with, let's say, another set of IP phones with, let's say, 5 numbers. So these line group members are basically IP phones, okay, with certain extensions. Let's say this guy here has got extension 1000, and this guy here has got 1001. Sorry, my bad. And 1003, 1004. Now let's say this guy here has got extension 1005, right? 1006, and so on. So now maybe this line group 1 is for this one here is for sales department, right? And if nobody answers the call from the sales department, you want the call to reach maybe to the HR department. No, HR doesn't sound really related, so I would say accounts department. So at least something similar, a similar kind of group, in case all these numbers, all these people in the sales department have not answered the call, then the hunt pilot is going to check out the hunt list. The hunt list is going to check the line group under which. So it would say, okay, this line group here is totally exhausted. All these extensions have been ringing. After a certain time, it says that nobody's answering. So you better attempt for this line group members in the accounts department. So now the calls are going to roll down to these people. There are different mechanism I mean, how the calls are going to roll between these members. It could be one-to-one, right? It could be longest idle, right? Whoever is not talking, whoever is not on the call for a very long time, the longest time, can be answered to it, or the call can be given, in a broadcast fashion where all these five extensions are going to ring together, and so on. So there could be multiple layer, right, of line groups and then line group members. Maybe then there is another department, HR department, and similarly, you have got five people in the HR department as well. So nobody answered the call in the sales department. The sales department exhausted. Nobody answered the call in accounts department. Now we're gonna roll the call at least to someone in HR department. Uh, and then we can, my bad, sorry. Let's say the extensions are like this, 2000, 2001, and so on. Sorry. Like this. So this could be the third line group. Okay. So the caller calls the extension 5000 or any DID, which then translates it into the extension 5000. This 5000 is configured in the call manager as hunt pilot. Now this hunt pilot checks the hunt list into it. Now the name could be anything. For example, let's say um, sales department hunt list, HL, just to have, you know, in the end, adding HL would be a bit easier for us to understand that, okay, this is basically a hunt list. So for administrator like you, right, you got to make sure that whenever you name anything, you add relevant detail in the beginning or in the end. So that's a good practice, right? So hunt pilot name could be like hunt pilot HP or anything, right? So, and then an extension 5000 associated with it. So you could say, okay, it's a sales department hunt pilot, HP, all right? And the extension assigned to it is 5000. And it has got a hunt list with sales department HL name. And then line group one could be, let's rename it to sales. Line group two could be accounts department. And the third one is, we're gonna rename it to HR department. So this way we know when the caller calls, the extension 5000 is gonna come down here to the hunt pilot 5000. It's gonna check the associated hunt list, which is sales department hunt list, which has got these three priorities set. So number one, it's gonna go check all the members in sales department line group, and then if all these members do not answer the call, the route exhausts. Then it goes further down here to the second group and checks if anybody is available to answer the call, and so on. I mean, it's optional very much. If you do not want these second and third and further or any alternative uh, as a backup for the primary line group, it's up to you. But this is for your understanding, basically, how the call flows from the caller to the end device, right? Now, let's go ahead and get into the call manager to see how to achieve it, okay? Here is our latest and greatest version of Call Manager 12.5. Now, this section is again going to be part of the second tab here, Call Routing. Under Call Routing, you have got Route and Hunt. We discussed previously about the route pattern, route list, route group, right? In a similar fashion, you have got Hunt Pilot, Hunt List, and Line Group. So just the way we configured route pattern and pointed it to a route list, which had route groups, and route groups had the the SIP trunk and so on. we have got, in a similar fashion, we have got hunt pilot pointing to a hunt list. Hunt list may constitute more than one line group or at least one line group. And then this line group will have certain group members into it for the hunting to work. So let's start by going to hunt pilot and see how many existing hunt pilots do we have. All right, so we see that there is already one hunt pilot configured for our voicemail. So voicemail hunting also work on hunt pilot uh, and hunt list fashion. I have covered this in the section in my another course of Cisco Unity Connection voicemail server, how it works. But this is very interesting feature that is helpful in establishing the call flow between the call manager and the voicemail server, or to have this kind of setup where the caller is calling and reaching to a group of people. So, like I said, that hunt pilot is pointed always to a hunt list. So this is a hunt pilot 5600, and it is pointed to the hunt list VM underscore hunt, right? So just like we discussed about here, there's a hunt pilot pointing to hunt list. This is the hunt pilot and it's pointing to hunt list. Now we can go to hunt list directly by clicking here on the edit option, or we can alternatively go to call routing, route hunt, hunt list. Okay, since we are already here, right, we can simply click on edit button here and it can take us directly to this uh, entity. So under VM hunt we see that there is a selected line group, VM group, right? This is the purpose of this VM group is to send the call towards the voicemail, and we'll check the what's inside it. But on this page, since it's a voicemail hunt pilot and voicemail configuration, you would see that it's enabled for voicemail usage. Uh, all right, now let's get into it, right? So we reached here under the hunt list. We saw a line, a line group basically. So we are almost here. Now let's see the members under this line group. So I'm gonna go click on this VM group, and now I'm on that VM group, which is basically a line group. It says that the reversion timeout is 10, which is 10 seconds, and the distribution algorithm, what was talking about, the longest idle time, or top down, or circular, or broadcast. It's it's optional, and you could choose. I mean, it's optional to choose either one of them. It's not optional; it's mandatory field, but you can choose any one of them, right? So circular is selected here. So in this way, the members you could check down here are these two guys selected DNO route partition, which is 5601 and 5602. Since they are not in any partition, it does not mention the partition. If there was any partition assigned to these directory numbers, you would have seen after a slash. But these two guys, right, are selected, and you can basically reverse order of selected DN like that. You can play around pretty much with them. You can move them up or down if there are many, more than 3, and so on. So you can pretty much play around with this. So the distribution algorithm being circular is going to go to 5601, then 5602, back again to 5601, 5602 in a circular fashion. So it's going to continue to do it like that. Now, these are the endpoints, basically 5601, 5602, just like we talked here, extensions, right? In this example, this is the voicemail port number, which is actually taking the call from the call manager server to the voicemail server. And if you could check the dependency record from here, from related link, drop down and do a go, we would see that it's actually associated with a uh, all right, so it's disabled. But anyways, 5601 is a voicemail port. That is for sure, and we can check that under route plan report. So I can go here, simply go do a find with this, and we see it here. It's a voicemail port, and I can just click right here. I would be able to see that it's registered with the voicemail server, right? And my call would be going to this directory number, which is actually associated with this port, which is actually acts like a endpoint, acts like a phone on the call manager, and then it's registered with the publisher server right now. So similarly, we can configure our other hunt pilot, hunt list, and line group, and we can pretty much go from there, right? So I have discussed about the auto attendant configuration pretty much in detail in my Unity Connection voicemail course. I would advise people to go get into the detail. This is pretty much quite relevant for that particular topic. So I mean, to cover additional part of it, that you know uh, in this example we saw that the call is actually coming to a hunt pilot and it's getting distributed into different departments, right? The call can come from a voicemail server as well, right? So basically, in another example, if I take it further this way, that a caller basically calls maybe extension 9000. It's a external number, maybe let's say 10-digit number, 912-555-4322, any DID, right? And then the call reaches to the gateway. Then the gateway transfers the call to CUCM. The CUCM then checks its database and finds that, okay, the last 4-digit 4322 is basically a hunt pilot 4322. Okay, now 4322 goes like this, and then gets and reaches to extension that line group members configured here. But then we can add further layer to it, that it could go to the voicemail, right? Extension 4322 is forwarded to voicemail server, which is Cisco Unity Connection. And then Cisco Unity Connection, there is a call handler, which is transferring the call to, let's say, 5000. And this hunt pilot is 5000. So, the caller would call this extension, which would go to the gateway, to the CUCM, which has got this last 4-digit 4322. Then it goes to the voicemail, because this has got call forward all to voicemail setting enabled. And then in Unity, it has got a call handler, which is transferring the call further to extension 5000. Extension 5000 comes back to the call manager, right? This is again call manager. It comes down here and does the regular call routing as we discussed. All right, so let me see if there is anything else to add to it. All right, so let me do it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and create some real-time hunt pilot, hunt list, line group members, and so on. So I see currently there are 3 phones which are registered right now, and I've got them registered just now. So the status of these 3 with extension 1001, extension 1003, and extension 9000 are registered right now. So let's go ahead and use them as line group members and do the rest of the configuration as we planned. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the rest of the configuration, and I would call it exactly the way we planned. Okay, so I would have a hunt palette created as 5,000, and I will assign it under a sales department hunt list, and then the line group, I would name it as line group sales, and under line group sales I will have my line group member 1 as 1,001, 1,003, and 9,000. These are the three extensions that I have currently registered in the call manager. Okay, so with this, let's go ahead and do the needful. Okay, so let's start from here. We already have these three extensions registered in the call manager, so this part is done. Let's go ahead and create the line group sales. Okay, so we're going to go uh, from right to the left. So we already have these three extensions in our system created. Let's go ahead and create the line group sales. When it is done, we'll go ahead and create the hunt list. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to the line group and create a new line group and say, right, what was the name again? Line group sales. Okay, so let's say this way. We're gonna do it circular. Okay, so it goes from one to the other. Now the hunt options, we have got no answer, busy, and not available. So in case the call is not answered, what are we going to do? We're going to try the next member, then the next group in the hunt list, which is again the next line group, it means. Okay. It also gives us an option automatically log out hunt member when the member doesn't answer the call, but that doesn't seem nice, but it's like forcibly allowing people to go out if they do not answer. It's like punishing them. Uh, in case the call comes and the member is busy, then try next member, then try next group member, next group, that is next line group. Similarly for not available. Okay. Currently we do not have anything selected here, so let's go ahead and add to the line group. Extension 1001 added, as simple as that. Extension 1003 added. Now let's go ahead and add extension 9,000. All right, so as we planned, we created this line group sales. We left the hunt option as is without any changes, and from the available extensions, right, we selected 1001, 1003, and 9,000, which are currently registered. So let's hit save, and from line group perspective, we are good. Now we're going to go ahead and create a hunt list. Right, so this hunt list is going to be called Sales Department HL. So we're going to say do a find just to see if there is no hunt list with that name. Yeah, we're good. So let's create add new. And all right, Sales Department HL, right? Sales Department, you could say hunt list. The default call manager group, enable this hunt list, right? And then do a save. Okay, right. So now let's go ahead. This hunt list is created, right? Sales department hunt list is created. Now we got to assign the line group sales to this hunt list, and that's what exactly this warning is about. I think the selected has unified connection configured. Okay, it's talking about that there is no other call manager in this call manager group, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and add the line group. We created sales line group, so we're gonna say line group sales. Say it says that the setting of this hunt list member are about to be saved. You must reset the hunt list for changes to take effect. Okay, all right, we're gonna definitely reset our newly created hunt list. So we're gonna do apply config. Okay, and then we're gonna reset. And once we have got it reset, then we are gonna create the hunt palette. Okay, so after creating the hunt list, we are gonna perform the last piece of the block, which is hunt palette. All right, let's go ahead to call routing route hunt pilot. And as we planned, we're going to create a hunt palette called sales department HP with extension 5000. So we're going to do add new, and over here we're going to say this is our sales department hunt palette number. And now we're going to select the hunt list here that we created earlier. So this is the rationale behind why did I start from the right to the left, because if you do not have extensions, you would not be able to add any member to the line group. If you do not have the line group, you would not be able to add them to the hunt list. If you do not have the hunt list, you would not be able to point them to the hunt palette. So was the whole logic of getting from right to left. So now we are able to select sales department hunt list, and we're almost good. Okay, some optional configuration, the description, the alerting name, and so on, we can put that on. But this one is very important. Now, what happens if there is no answer for this hunt pilot number? uh, Sorry, hunt pilot number is description gonna be here. I'm gonna say hunt pilot number 5000. And not the name. Yeah, so the extension needs to go in here. We could also put that in the alerting name. Okay, now in case extension 5000 is called, this guy, it goes here, checks the line group, finds the line group members, and tries them all: 1001, 1003, 9000. What happens then? So there is no answer, no one answered. You have got an option to configure right here: do not forward unanswered calls. What do you do if the call is totally exhausted, no member has is there to take your call? Use forward setting of the device that forwarded to hunt pilot, or forward unanswered call to any particular extension. So you can plan and decide you do not want to forward, or you want to use the forward setting of device that forwarded to hunt pilot, or you want to do what. Yeah, so let's keep it on default. Similarly for hunt busy, and you also have got queuing option. It was not there in earlier version, but in all the latest versions, the call queuing is an option here. So you could have your music on hold file created. So the caller calls 5000 extension, and it's queued unless someone answers the call. And uh, what happens if the queue is full? The call gets disconnected, or route the call to the destination, and so on. Okay, uh, so this is pretty cool feature, but I'm not gonna enable it right now. Let's go ahead and do a save here. Okay, so we have pretty much created everything that we needed: hunt pilot, hunt list, and inside the hunt list, the line group, and inside the line group, the members. It's time for us to make some test call. Okay, so this guy here is extension 1001, and this guy here is extension 1003. Okay, so I'm gonna keep them like this. And this guy here is my test IP communicator, the soft client, just like Jabber. I'm sure that you would be aware of it. This is the predecessor of Jabber. Now Cisco is moving and trying to unify everything under one software, just like Microsoft. Um, so you have got Jabber with all the functionality for chatting, calling, conferencing, and all right, video call. IP communicator does not have a very rich feature in terms of its presence or in terms of chatting feature or desktop sharing, file sharing, right? So, all right, let's come back to the point on the Hunt Pilot configuration, right? So I'm gonna dial the Hunt Pilot number, which is extension 5000. All right, so I got the call on this guy here, the very first one, user 001. This is the first call, and this guy answered the call, and now we are connected. We are talking to each other. Now let me try it again, okay, and let's see where the call goes this time. And I'm expecting is that this call must go to this guy here, user 002, user 003. All right, so the notification would come down right here. So right, well, let's dial 5000 again. All right, so we see the call rolled over to the user 03 because it has got extension 1001. Now the call came back to this IP communicator itself because this is the third destination in the line group, right? 1001, 1003, and 9000. So it came back directly over there, and now it's rolling back again to my Jabber, and then we hung up. So pretty much it done the same thing. I mean, absolutely the way we designed it, that it went to extension 5000. Extension 5000 had the hunt list, sales department hunt list, which had the line group sales, right? And this line group sales basically had these three numbers: 1001, 1003, and 9000. Right, so it performed the circular operation and it ended the call. Now, all right, so let me see what else can we do over here. All right, so yeah, as a test, we call 5000 and it landed distributing the group members. You can change the algorithm from circular to longest available, and it would do the job for you. You have got additional voicemail pilot number, which is for the voicemail. Now, if I dial this, I'm going to reach to the voicemail from through the voicemail port on the Unity Connection voicemail server. So with this, I think we're good for this particular session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Goodbye.